Up next on ITV, How Can I Help? With your host, Ronnie Das.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Das, and I recently graduated from UCSD. My parents were proud, I felt accomplished, but now like so many others in my situation, I'm trying to understand what to do next. I'm interested in the environment and green policy, but it's hard to determine what's actually useful and what's just a marketing scheme. So I went out to learn from the ground up what local San Diego businesses, industries, farms, and nonprofit groups are doing to make a difference by educating, implementing, or currently using green and sustainable practices. So sit back, relax, and welcome to How Can I Help? Hi, and welcome to How Can I Help? I'm your host, Ronnie, and today we're talking about organic produce and sustainable farming techniques. We're here at Little Italy Farmers Market, where you can get fruits and vegetables for yourself and loved ones. So let's check it out. I wanted to know more about where the produce at the Little Italy Farmers Market comes from, so I went to talk to Kaz at the Susie's Farm booth to see if he could answer some questions. So you mentioned that you're really close to San Diego. What does that give you as far as accessibility? What other farmers markets do you attend?
Okay, yeah, we're up in Hillcrest, North Park, La Jolla, Encinitas, Poway, Mission Hills. We're in a total of 10 markets throughout the week, and what that really enables us to do is hit all the different neighborhoods and give people access to good quality organic produce. So one of the other things that enables us to do is really kind of serve our CSA subscribers better. The CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and what that is a way for people to kind of subscribe in advance and say they want a certain amount of produce for an entire season, so we know exactly what and how much to plant, and each week when we have a box available for them, they come down to any of our farmers market locations and we just hand them what we've got off the field, out of the fields that week. So it's a good way to get people involved, to sustain the work of doing organic farming, which is not exactly the most profitable thing in the world, but to kind of sustain us long term and allow us to build at a steady and reasonable pace. Primarily are growing vegetables throughout the year, and that's going to change seasonally depending upon what time of year it is. So right now we've got a lot of broccoli, cauliflower, a lot of fall and winter squash that are coming in, and a lot of the summer vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, kind of on their way out. So.
Oh, okay. And what kind of nutrition do these have?
We've got a little bit of everything here. We've got a lot of hearty, good greens here that are going to load you up with plenty of vitamins, minerals. We've got a lot of antioxidants in some of our brighter colored vegetables, a lot of the tomatoes, a lot of the peppers, some of the microgreens and some of the other sprouts that we have. So again, you really want to try and balance out your diet, include as much color as you can, and you can break it down by nutrient, but I think as long as you're just getting a lot of color, a lot of variety in your diet, you're going to be pretty well off. So
that sounds pretty good.
It's interesting because we're so close, and I think that's something that hasn't been around before. You have this burgeoning farm outside of San Diego. It's like supplying the city. I do deliveries for the farm too. And we go all around North Park, downtown, and all of these restaurants using, that's kind of a new thing too, with sustainable restaurants.
Oh, okay,
So.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad it's picking up in San Diego too. It's just
yeah, people are really starting to become aware of where their food's coming from and starting to ask questions and stuff. And I mean, we're still growing tomatoes. We'll probably have those for a while. So yeah, we definitely have a blending of the season. We have seasonal stuff, but there's some gray area there that allows some leeway for us to grow a lot of things year round.
Nice. The farmers market provided me with some good information and great selections, but I wanted to learn more about what organic farming really means. Only 15 minutes down the 5 and I'm in a whole new San Diego, full of horses, farms, and right off Hollister and Sunset, Susie's Farm. Located near the Tijuana River Valley, Susie's Farm was established in 2004 when the owner and operators Robin Taylor and Lucila de Alejandro were finally able to purchase an original plot of land with a truly unique story. Susie was a purebred Norwegian elkhound. On a farm adjacent to what is now Susie's Farm, the area where Susie was abandoned, she found her way to Robin and Lucila's farm and eventually to their home. Susie taught them to live at peace with the world, to get back up when you get knocked down, and to know how to be present and available when opportunities present themselves to you. Plus, the pooch knew how to eat. When the property that is now Susie's farm became available, it was an easy decision. Robin and Lucilla knew they wanted to grow real food for real people in a traditional way. They've always gardened and have operated sun-grown organic distributors for 25 years, a sprout and wheatgrass farm. But Susie's farm's a whole new ballpark, a larger magnitude for a local independent farm. Although it is thrilling and daunting to own and operate your own farm, when you meet the people at Susie's farm, they've taken the challenge of organic certification and not cutting corners with grace and enthusiasm. With a new space for farming, Susie's farm could use a portion of its original farm to collaborate with San Diego Roots Sustainable Food Project in creating the Wild Willow Farm and Education Center. Today we gathered to celebrate the convergence of art and agriculture with San Diego Roots' first Harvest Festival. The festivities included photo contests, art contests for kids, tours of the farm, a delicious feast prepared from locally grown ingredients, music, and dancing. In fact, the name Wild Willow Farm was determined in a contest at the event. But between all the fun and excitement, I took a moment with Misha Johnson, a farmer and director of the educational farm, to get a little more food for thought.
We're here at the Roots Farm, educational farm with Misha. Could you just tell us a little bit about this, this program that you guys are doing, what San Diego Roots is about?
San Diego Roots is an educational nonprofit. It was started about 10 years ago. A bunch of strangers essentially got together to save a farm called Good Faith Farm.
Okay.
Up in Hamul, and they were really energized because they started realizing that the local food system was really changing and that the local small farms weren't able to compete and to stay afloat.
Okay.
And so they all got together trying to save this farm. They had to raise $8 million, which was not possible.
Wow.
So they failed there, but it brought the people together around this value that the local food system is incredibly important for our food security, for our health, for our communities, and so many different reasons.
Okay.
And so from that, San Diego Roots became a nonprofit, and that was about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so their dream was to create an educational farm where we could teach the next generation of sustainable farmers in the San Diego region, because there's sort of been a generation gap where those farmers, in most cases, were gone. Farms were covered up by developments, housing, and business. And so we've started this farm here in order to seed these next generation of farmers and farms around the county.
Well, what's the Grow the Farm campaign? Just tell us a little bit about
The
that.
Grow the Farm campaign is really what we're doing to make this farm possible. We're saying this is a community-supported farm. We are a nonprofit educational institution, and we are opening up this land to the community for learning how to grow food, for learning about how we can support ourselves and create a healthy lifestyle and healthy community here in San Diego.
You guys have already been to a couple schools, right? Don't you have some stuff at Morse High School?
Yeah, we've got stuff at Morse High School, City College, right in downtown San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Little urban garden has started up there. And actually, what's going on at City College is really tremendous. They're developing an apprenticeship program and a certificate program to teach people how to grow food in an urban setting.
What are some of the common themes?
So what
then
I would
for
say the
organic
common
farming?
themes for organic farming is that you don't use any chemicals of any sort that have been developed in a lab. So you don't use any pesticides that were made from chemicals. You don't use any fertilizers that were made from chemicals. If you're using a pesticide or a pest repellent, it's an extract, like a tea, of some sort of herb that repels an insect or kills an insect.
So like how you were talking earlier about onions by the tomato plant,
Exactly.
that's how it is. So it's a natural type of repellent.
Exactly. And for example, tobacco, the nicotine in the tobacco will kill aphids, which are a pest on a lot of tomato plants. So tobacco, we can grow tobacco as an herb, or there are many other herbs that have similar purposes that help control pests besides using chemicals.
What is the value to the local environment when you're not using stuff like pesticides and these chemicals?
You're not polluting the land. You're not using a lot of fossil fuels, which are required to either be an ingredient in or in the making of pesticides and chemical fertilizers.
Oh, okay.
And so we're not polluting the river out here. We're not polluting the estuary or the ocean. Hopefully, any air or any water that passes through our farm will be cleaner having done so.
What is the thing that these people, when they started this organization, realized was happening to the farming? What kind of, where are we going now? Where are we leading ourselves with the normal process?
People saw a massive centralization of agriculture within the country. there are subsidies going to thousands of acres, or farms that are thousands of acres or more, or hundreds of acres, that are growing monocultures on a huge scale, using pesticides like never before. And rural communities are dying because their farms are being consolidated into one larger farm as opposed to many smaller farms growing a diverse array of crops. So people are losing jobs, they're forced to move to cities where they have trouble finding jobs. The food has to travel further because it's bigger farms spread out in the country, and the cities are becoming concentrated in suburbia, spreading out and covering up farmland.
Okay.
And so they saw all that happening. Some of the people in Roots have been around here for half a century, and they remember when they were younger getting food from local farms and getting their milk from local cows and all that. But sort of the rug was sort of pulled out from under us, and we didn't realize it was happening. And now we look up and we say, where'd all the farms go? Where's our food coming from? And nobody, or not nobody, but very few people know anymore. Agriculture really changed after World War II. It's very interesting to note that a lot of the things that are used in conventional large-scale monoculture agriculture have some sort of relation to the military-industrial complex, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
So, for example, the pesticides that are used, a lot of them were initially developed as chemical nerve gases during World War I.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they found out that they also work really well at killing certain insects.
Okay.
So those companies that had invested in this for the war needed some place to earn money.
Product. Yeah, okay.
So it works perfectly well on a farm. And same with the fertilizers, which were originally, the chemical fertilizers were nitrogen based, or were nitrogen mostly, which is a hugely important nutrient for crops. And they were originally used for nitrogen bombs. So you can see the connection with post-war, all those industries needing a place to keep their profits going even though the wars were over.
Okay, yeah, they already built up these huge companies, but they have this product, so now they're just trying to kind of push it into the heartland.
And I think now in the 21st century we're realizing that we went too far.
Yeah.
And that in order, for so many reasons, to improve our lives, we have to go back to a more decentralized, locally based agriculture.
And how does that help the local economy and the local community? I think you touched on that.
So many different ways. I mean, it's creating community, it's creating economy locally. You hear the music in the background here. We're getting people together. We're celebrating the harvest. We don't have any harvesting on our farm right now, but we will soon.
Misha was right. The Harvest Festival truly did create community. It was great to see all the fun and excitement for such a good cause. The food was plentiful, delicious, nutritious, and most important, all the ingredients were locally grown. It was great to see what initiative and determination could accomplish. The San Diego Roots First Harvest Festival gave me a new outlook on organic farming. I learned that sustaining the environment through organic farming techniques is a reasonable way to benefit everyone in your community. Located in the heart of North Park, the Linkery offers patrons tasty dishes using fresh local ingredients. I wanted to find out more, so I'm at the Linkery to see how I can help. The Linkery is unique in that its menu changes daily based on the ingredients they receive from local artisans and farmers like Susie's Farm. I met with Anna, one of the cooks, to help with the morning's preparations.
Yeah, okay, it's a good day to come in. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Hot sauce, okay, wow. And this is like the list that comes in every day?
Yes, every day. See?
Yeah.
I'm doing beer bread. So I need to do semolina, rosa bread, bread pudding, coders, churros, ganache.
Wow.
Anna wanted to show me how to make the Linkery's house-baked beer bread.
Here, all the bread, everything. We make everything. So I have everything over here.
What do you put into that?
It's yeast, sugar, salt, whole wheat, and flour for bread.
Oh, okay. So this is actual beer?
Yes.
Okay.
Put a little water.
And what kind of beer do you use?
Oh, I don't know.
This is own or
Yeah.
Like its ingredients, the Linkery provides local craft beers including cask-conditioned drafts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no particular way. Just
Yes,
as
all
long
the
as
way.
it's in here. Okay.
With this.
What is that?
For mixing dough.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Grill. So we've just made the beer bread. We're still gotta make all of this. They get this list every single day, and it's completely new, completely fresh. And that's part of what they do at the Linkery. So let's get some more one-on-one tutorial.
The food here is not just vegetarian. In fact, the name The Linkery is based on the restaurant's original operations. Linkery refers to links of sausage and cured meats which you can still buy and enjoy at home. I helped Anna cut and prepare some bacon as part of their signature sandwiches.
And you get all this stuff fresh delivered to you from
Yes, from farmers.
local farmers.
Yes.
Along with the Berkshire pork, pastured chicken, pastured lamb, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and harvested shellfish, the Linkery also has some vegan options from soups and salads to handmade pasta and sandwiches, like the stuffed squash we're preparing today.
Okay.
Susie's farm.
Robin's a good friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
We don't film that.
Oh, okay, so just try and get these
It's messy.
off. Yeah. And what are you working on, Anna? You just,
This one is I'm gonna dice this grilled squash for tonight. It's ready for tonight.
what kinds of dishes would that kind of go in?
That's for the vegan entree.
Oh, there's a vegan. Okay.
Yeah, so we mix it with wheat berry saute and then stuff it inside of a spaghetti squash.
The Linkery really provides something for everyone. Max explains more.
So what happens? Because I mean, stuff would be seasonal. So every once in a while, do you guys just get like a ton of squash and have to deal with? Okay, so that happens all
All the time.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
Okay. So you guys,
So
yeah.
it's basically trying to figure out how to, use it all before
Before it
it
goes
goes bad.
Wow. Okay. So you just have to. Everybody has to just be on their
100
feet.
pounds of squash every Wednesday during squash season.
Wow. Okay. So you're making squash everything, squash
Squash
hats.
The Linkery opened 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. And then were green and sustainable practices kind of a foundation, or was it gradually something they shifted to? These practices of buying from local farms.
Yeah, I mean, that's day one.
That's from day one. You guys started that. You guys are getting pretty busy for lunch, so I'll get out of your hair. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you a lot.
All right, Ronnie, thanks
Yeah.
for coming by.
Thanks a lot,
Have
Max.
a good day.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Although organic produce is available throughout San Diego at local farmers markets, it doesn't take much land to start growing your own fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm here with local San Diego resident Alex Israel, who started his own garden right here in his backyard. So tell me, Alex, what motivated you to start gardening?
Well, for me, it was all about having fun. Kind of just an idea that I had with two buddies. Started small, little about 5x10 patch over there. Threw in some squash and corn and tomatoes, and realized that plants don't grow that easy. You gotta determine spacing and a lot of other concerns that we've learned over time. So it's been a project for the past 2 years.
Oh, wow. Well, let's take a little tour of the garden.
Follow me. As I said, tomatoes. I just picked about 50 tomatoes off these 3 plants this morning, so you're kind of just seeing the remnants.
Okay.
But right now, actually, the neighbors have ripe tomatoes all across the other side of this fence.
Oh, okay.
It goes all the way back down, hangs over the fence, about halfway down the fence, and they're picking tomatoes, so it's a lot of fun. Builds community.
Oh, that's great.
Some squash down here, zucchini. This actually almost died off. You can see this powdery mildew.
Yeah.
Started to form. This will spread. It will prevent your plants from photosynthesizing. It's just kind of like a shield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So there's some different sprays, neem oil, some kind of organic sprays you can use, or inorganic stuff depending on what you want to do. But there's definitely organic solutions that I use. Sprayed it all over here, cut off most of the mildewed leaves, which pretty much killed the whole plant. There were maybe only 2 or 3 small leaves. This is about 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow. You got it all back up to
yeah.
here. Wow, okay.
But we got a little herb garden area over here. Some spearmint.
Nice.
Oregano. Peppermint in the corner.
This is peppermint right here?
That's peppermint. Smell that one. That is very potent.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Fruit trees. That's a blood orange and a Meyer lemon. The eggplant's doing real well right now. You can kind of see the last couple.
Oh, that's a little hidden away, but that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple smaller ones in the back starting to grow. This one's a Japanese eggplant. You can see the shape is quite different.
Oh, and this was you said it was originally like 5.
It was this corner.
Oh, just the corner.
Just the corner.
Wow.
5 by 10 feet that way. Then we added a 3 foot by 3 foot box of strawberries. And then we were gonna add another box, and we said, why keep adding boxes? Let's rent a tiller.
Yeah.
And get compost, which we get from various places. Escondido Mushroom Farm has been good for delivering compost.
Okay.
And we just filled it all up. We're gonna have a wall of cucumbers over here.
Wow.
Sure
Oh, nice.
enough.
And this is a good spacing design. Then you can keep it low, but you can get it like wider.
Yeah, I've been learning anything you can do vertically really increases your yield with how much space you got. Cucumbers all over here. Oh, this is a lemon cucumber.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. You get so much variety when you start doing it yourself. You can just try any different combinations out.
Exactly. And you usually end up sticking with the ones that work well in your climate, in your yard, your soil. It's kind of what I like to do is try a bunch of different stuff, and then the next season stick to the ones that did
the
me
ones that
well.
work, yeah.
It's like a Hawaiian gold, I think was the name of this. It's an heirloom. These are about ripe, just kind of reddish, orangish color. Where are you going, Alex? Come on over here. Come show the camera what you got. I see some garden food.
Yeah, some garden food right here. Basically, just fried up some vegetables that gathered right here from the garden about 5 minutes ago.
Pretty healthy lunch.
Yeah.
Jump on, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, well, thank you for having us here. I enjoyed checking out your garden. Yeah. Thank you too. Enjoy your lunch.
After learning how organic produce is distributed in San Diego, some sustainable practices that keep the environment in mind, and a couple of cooking tips from the link read, I decided to try and make a meal for myself. So let's get cooking. With peppers and tomatoes from Susie's farm, some basil from the linkery, and a little bit of eggplant, onion, and garlic from Alex's garden, I was ready to try my hand at cooking an old family recipe. Purchasing organic produce from local independent farms is a very green and sustainable practice. Not only does it lower carbon emissions from transportation, but it also decreases the impact to the environment by not using chemical fertilizers or pesticides. In addition to upholding green and sustainable standards, organic farms build communities and help the local economy. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. We'd like to thank all our guests on the show today. To find out more about them or other ways you can help, please visit us at howcanihelpsandiego.com. On the next episode of How Can I Help? They say children are the future. Let's see what they're teaching the future in Learning Green. Next Friday at 6 p.m. on ITV, Channel 16. Hey, we're here at... I'm sorry. Whenever you're ready. First time we tried the chicken farm, I didn't know if I was putting them too deep or too close together. But they didn't grow at all.